I'm going to try to demonstrate how we do a two-stick hearthboard for friction fire on a bow drill. What I've got here is two pieces of sagebrush. They seem to index fairly well together. And so what I'm going to do is tie those together. I'm going to find a bit where they slide fairly close together like that. Give a anchor hitch on one side. If you don't know what the anchor hitch is, I recommend learning it. It's a really handy little thing to know. Basically two loops with a clove hitch kind of tying the end of it together. And as a result, you get a bind that you can tighten that won't loosen. So I can kind of work that down nice and tight, and it won't come loose. And for the other side, just for the sake of time, I'm just going to throw a clove hitch on there just because it's super fast. I got one side tied down real well, the other side is less critical to me. And I have a little handle too for if I want to carry that around. That's neat, right? Alright, so I've got my two sticks tied together, fairly well indexed. Set that down on a little piece of cardboard so I don't burn the garage floor. I have a piece of sagebrush again for my spindle. And now we're going to test my coordination a little bit because I don't really want to cut a notch into this hearthboard you can't see. So I'm going to try to just burn a little hole in on the fly. Well, this is kind of interesting too. This is an icicle hitch here, and I use it on my bow drill. And what's handy about that is you can actually slide it up if you want less tension, slide it back down. If you want more tension, it's just a slide and grip sort of knot. So I got a pretty skinny spindle here, so I'm going to give it a fair amount of tension. That's too little. Max this out a little bit. That might be too much. We'll see. If the spindle comes flying off of the hearthboard here in a second, you'll know that I put too much tension on it. So real small strokes at first, just trying to get a notch built up. And as I feel more confident with it, longer strokes. There we go. Alright, now I gotta move my foot out of the way a little bit so I don't burn my shoe. Alright. I kinda like short spindles. I feel like long spindles give you too much leverage, and you can really torque them around with your bow drill. I'm not very coordinated, so I need all the advantage I can get. Alright, so a little bit of smoke. What we're getting is that wood dust building up in the crevices of the two sticks. Hopefully, I can get enough heat built up to get that wood dust into a coal. No go so far, I don't think. We've almost got it building up below. So let's give that another go here. Well, and you can't see me if the camera falls. Alright. How about coordination, remember? Oh gosh. Alright. I feel like the most likely thing that's going to happen is I'm going to go straight through these two sticks without getting coal. I need to do a couple things. Since we're getting so deep into that hole, I'm going to narrow out my spindle a little bit. And then I need to snug up my bow drill. Bit. It started to slip. And that'll just break my string. So now let's give it a go again. There's the coordination. I'll turn this around. You know what's going to help if I put this in? A little bit. Alright. I was really hoping this would be a lot easier. You can see this, how it's supposed to go. That spindle's starting to slip again, where the bow is. That's just not fair at all. Alright, there's a coal built up. Wasn't pretty. So, I'll tell you what, this is the second time I've done this. And the first time, the coal built up on top. This time, the coal went through the bottom. But, it worked. It was a little sloppy. The bow started to slip. I got too much friction and whatnot, but there you go, sagebrush and 2 spindle hearthboard.